So this video is about measuring successful performance and what can the main streets and our retail precincts learn from the malls. And it's really important we're actually measuring so that then we can make sure we're improving. My experience in the shopping centres and in street precincts covers nearly 20 years, and I've looked at all these different areas along the way, and particularly in the last 8 years as a retail consultant, where I've been working with towns and cities and main streets trying to help their performance. When we're looking at measuring performance, we can look at qualitative style measures or quantitative style measures. But it's all about the customer, and when we're actually looking at the customer, because we're trying to attract more customers and we need to be looking from a customer view. If we're talking about qualitative measures, we're talking about customers' opinions and what they actually think about our street precinct or our main street. Do they really enjoy it? Is their experience like? What are their perceptions? But got to be looking from a customer's viewpoint. It's really important. And are they satisfied with certain things that we provide? You know, what are the cleanliness like? What's the safety like? And we can tease some of these things out and find out what their behaviour is like and their reaction to some of these things by focus groups and phone surveys, talking to them though basically, and finding out what do they actually think about our precinct and how are we performing. If you start to come to quantitative style measures, you're starting to get into the facts of the business, talking statistics, talking about dollars, numbers and data, dollar sales, looking at pedestrian counts. It's harder quite often in a street precinct to get a lot of this information together and get this data together, because if you're in a shopping centre, of course, through the language in the lease, you have to actually supply those sales figures, and they can monitor how the fashion section is working this past month when a promotion was on, how they're actually performing overall in the fashion category or the gift category. But in the main street, it's a lot harder. But by putting together ABS statistics, council information, retail information, we can start to measure some of this data, and then we'll have some quantitative measures that can make a difference. If we look at certain areas of our business, so we're trying to manage our precinct, we need to know where are we now. We need to conduct an audit and find out where we are now. Do we have things in place like service level agreements that make sure that when we're doing our cleaning throughout the precinct or the street or the mall, you know, what is the delivery like? Is it good standard? How do we improve it? How are we measuring if we're doing a good job? And then we can always ask the customers as well, which is another additional measure, is how clean do they think it is? That's what we're trying to please, is the customers. You can ask them, find out what their view is, and then you can put that data together. And if you're asking the retailers as well, who are there every day, basically, has the presentation improved, and they can give you feedback. So service level agreements are very important, and making sure that we're delivering a whole range of different services, and business improvement districts from New Zealand across various parts of Australia to the USA, Canada and the UK use service level agreements to make sure that the standards are being delivered and improved. And there's some great partnerships are being delivered over time, and service levels have been improved. So looking at things like safety issues, you know, it's very important that customers consider safety and they feel that the area is safe and they can bring their children and their family to the precinct or the main street. Do they rate it as very safe, or just safe, or they don't feel very safe at all? And I know when a lot of these business improvement districts and those organisations got together, starting to work out their plans, they needed to look at safety and cleanliness first, and once they got a lot of those areas under control, they started to move on to marketing and other business development issues. Things like turnover reports in a main street are really quite hard to put together, but in a shopping centre environment, they're fairly mandatory, but it can be done. You can actually start to measure how we're performing on retail sales, and then we can measure how market share is going and how we're actually performing and getting our slice of the retail market. Also, we should be asking our customers, where do they mainly shop for items like fashion and food, homewares and gifts? Where do they go to? And that will actually bring out who our competitors are. And the other thing is, what do they like or dislike about our main street? So putting together a turnover report could be a challenge, but I think it's a very, very necessary way of actually monitoring how performance is going. If we're looking at our marketing and promotion, of course, we're putting on some great events quite often. We have fashion events, you might have weekend events. Electronic counters are really an ultimate way of doing it. Or you can do special sample counts that can be done during the year at certain times to measure trends and try to find out how trends are tracking. Also can be measuring how car parks are performing, looking at promotion times, how the car park is performing, asking retailers for feedback about our marketing and promotions and finding out did they have a sales increase during that period. Are they having a sales increase overall? It's really, really important to try and measure this performance, because after all, that's what we're actually doing with our marketing. And then asking our customers, how frequently do they come to the precinct? Is it just during promotional times? Are they coming frequently, weekly, or are they coming monthly? Has that changed over time? What is the actual trend? So if you're asking our customers too, what events are they aware of? What have they actually seen the past 6 months? Did they actually hear about the event, and then did they actually go to the event? Was it strong enough to bring them in? And have they seen or heard any advertising from the main street or the precinct over time? Very, very important if you're putting out a marketing program to find out has it actually had some concentration to the precinct? Are people aware of the penetration of that marketing message? And then analysing different forms that are put in through competitions and understanding where customers are coming from. If you look at the area of business development, when we're trying to measure performance, we need to start basically having a look at the tenancy mix, and then what sort of categories have we got, what vacancies have we got as a percentage of the total, how are our property values trending, what has the private-public investment been like in the precinct over time, are there many new businesses? And we know that people will come and go, new shops come in, old shops disappear, but what is actually adding to our tenancy mix over time? Is it improving, and are we attracting more customers, and are they meeting market demands? And we also should ask our customers too, what sort of new shops and services would they like to see in the precinct? How can we improve our mix to meet the customer's need? On the physical side, we're trying to make the environment a better environment. So we need to know where we are now by conducting an audit, identifying areas of weakness that need to be improved, prioritising projects and looking at capital works required to do that, because we want customers to stay and enjoy themselves in the precinct and stay longer. What is the council budget cycle? Where are the funds going to come from? And can we deliver some items on our wish list? And then looking at things like our toilets and facilities, very, very important. As I said in an earlier video, quite often you'll find the standards of toilets and baby rooms and change rooms. Of course, in a shopping centre, very high standard. Sometimes we have trouble presenting those same facilities in a street environment. So it's very, very important to actually present these facilities for customers, because again, when we're measuring our performance and doing our research, we're looking from a customer view, because that's who we're trying to influence to get them to come to our precinct more often. So my name's David West from Premier Retail Marketing. I can help you with some of these strategies and help you put performance measures in place. So please look at the contact section of this website, and I look forward to speaking to you soon about it.